quality avocado. Sorry this is so loud right now. I'm gonna be starting a new playthrough on Skyrim, and I'm hoping it'll be really fun. And I'm exhausted right now because I had a horrible day at work. But I really wanted to play something, and I'm tired, and I don't know what else to do. And I haven't streamed in a long time, and I'm sorry, but life has been crazy. Let me do something real quick. Let me turn down all the volume for all this stuff. Bethesda, come on, man. Bethesda. Can I access my settings, please? Thank you. Settings, audio. Okay. And then I'm gonna set it to legendary as well. You will see why I will be doing that in a little bit. And I'm gonna be talking through the intro. You could read this. Oh wait, let me see if subtitles are enabled. Okay, now we should be good. I'm gonna be talking through this just because everyone's seen this intro, but I'm gonna do it for the sake of doing it anyways. So, I've actually had a lot of things happen lately. I'm still building a house. I just got engaged. I'm now entering the slower season for work, but I still had a crazy day at work today. A crazy busy day as well.
You across the border, right?
So, I just got done showering and getting ready for work for the most part tomorrow. And I'm exhausted right now, but I just wanted to stream because I haven't done it in like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, something like that. And I am doing a playthrough that I've been wanting to do for a long time. It's gonna be a stealth archer, I'll say that, but it's not gonna be a typical stealth archer. Now, stealth archers typically have it to where you go like light armor with like dragon scale armor, or something like that with like a dragon bone bow, or maybe like that bow that fires like 30% faster or whatever, that kind of stuff. But this I want to do a little differently, so I'm gonna specialize in one-handed, sneak, archery, no armor whatsoever, no smithing, might I add. I'm gonna max out enchanting as well, alchemy, conjuration, illusion, and maybe a few other things, but the conjuration, illusion, sneak, and archery are like the mains that I want to go for, because I want to make a stealth archer, but I use the bound bow instead, essentially. So that's what I'm going to be going for this run, a like mage archer essentially. So I'm not going to be doing anything with smithing. I'm going to be maxing on enchanting mostly for like rings and whatnot, rings and necklaces. And I do have some. I'm not going to be using armor per se. I'm going to be using clothing items that give me stat boosts, which are going to be really helpful. So I have some clothing items in mind. First of all, there's the clothing items that are from the Dark Brotherhood. As soon as you walk in there, you could get Dark Brotherhood Shrouded Outfit, which have a bunch of great stealth characteristics. Now, that's really good for like a one-handed stealth character. I'm going to be making an archer though, so I'm going to need something a little different. I'm going to be using, let's see.
Let's go.
There's some other items that I need to be wearing.
No, wait, we're not rebels. face your
And I'm gonna
death
make an
with some courage.
Argonian just for the sake of it, because I think Argonians look cool.
This is a mistake.
Step towards the bluff when we call your name. One at
Okay,
a time.
let's see.
Empire loves their damn lists.
Ulfric Stormcloak, Jarl of Windhelm.
It has been an honor, Jarl Ulfric.
Ralof of Riverwood.
While this is going, I'm gonna look up exactly what clothing items I need, because I'm not gonna be wearing
Lokir
armor,
of Rorikstead.
per se.
No, I'm not a rebel. You can't do this.
Halt!
You're not gonna kill me.
Archers! Anyone else feel like running?
Wait. You there. Step forward. Who are you?
Okay, now let's make our Argonian. I would go with an orc, but nah. I would go with Wood Elf because they have good stealth and archery stats, but they have some pretty terrible bonuses. Redguard is more of a combat, Orc is more of a combat, Nord is more of a combat, but that might be nice as well due to their cold resistance in particular. And I'm going to be going a vampire as well, so I could get, I think it's like a 40% for cold resistance if you go for a Nord, along with like the additional up to 50 if you become a vampire and never drink blood. So you could have like a 90 or so % increase in cold resistance if you play a Nord vampire, just with that alone, not even having to wear like any necklaces or anything. Though if you did stack on top of a necklace, I imagine you could probably have over 100% cold resistance, which is amazing. That actually makes me kind of want to do it right now, but let's see. Khajiit, they're cool for stealth and thief characters, but Imperial, nah, they kind of suck in my opinion overall. High Elf is a good mage build, but it's more like a combat mage, in my opinion. Dark Elf is a good stealth mage build. And they get fire resistance, but I already have kind of something like that to begin with. And then a lot of people give the Bredens crap for being like calling them the worst of the worst when it comes to like any sort of character. Like nobody picks Bredens, but I don't know, a boost to magic resistance and an ability that also boosts magic resistance. I don't know, I think that's pretty good, but apparently not to other people. And then Argonians also get a lot of crap because their main ability is they can breathe underwater and they're resistant. They have resistance to disease, but I think they also have a really powerful power to regenerate health very quickly, which could really come in handy since we are not going to be using armor. So I'm going to be going a male Argonian. Let's see where the presets are. Okay, let's make my own. Let's see. Ooh, I kind of like that shadow scale look. Yeah, let's do that. And then, let's make you really bulky, boy. Oh, is that what old Argonians do? Like, they become, like, discolored and almost rusted looking? That's dirt? Gross. Oh, I can make him darker with the dirt. Yeah, just... Oh, that actually doesn't look half bad. He's like pure black. That's actually kind of cool looking. Scars. let's see. And then war paint. There's not really any good war paints for Argonians. Let's see. That kind of looks stupid. There we go. Maybe a little shorter. Having that short of a nose looks kind of dumb. Okay. Jaw width, okay. Maybe we should do some red accents. Ooh. Ooh, I actually kind of like that. Ooh. Ooh, that actually... Ooh, the red and black goes together really well. That actually looks cool. Ooh, I actually kind of like that. Okay. Those red accents actually go really good in my opinion. Nice, okay. Kind of like him having the bit of an eye horn, almost. Big eyes, too. Kind of like these snake-looking eyes. I don't know what that was. What was that? Hold up. Sorry. Gotta check my work app thingy. Hold up. Might have gotten my schedule for tomorrow for work. In the meantime, while I wait for that to load, I'm gonna drink some water. I'm so dehydrated after today. Oh, that's so much better. Come on, you stupid thing. Okay, well that's loading. I'll keep working on this. Ooh. Okay, that's a little too much red, maybe. Yeah, I don't want to overdo it. Mm. Yeah, maybe that's a little too much now. Nah, keep the red neck. Kind of like that one. Chin. Okay, maybe not the chin. Maybe not the nose. Okay, I think that's enough for that. Now let's go to the brows. Let's do the straight horns. Yeah, that's nice. I kind of like this. It makes him look more like a lizard. Okay. Now we need to give him a nice mouth. Let's just go with that one. Okay. There we go. That's nice. Okay. Let's see about... Do I have my schedule for tomorrow at all? No, we do not. Okay, well... Lovely. Okay, there we go. Now for the hair, I can have these types of horns. These type. You know what? Let's just not go any hair. How about that? Yeah, I kind of like this character. Yeah, he looks kind of cool. I'm thinking maybe I should change a scar, though. Yeah, I kind of like that one or this one. Let's go with this one. Okay. What should we name our Argonian? I'm gonna look up Argonian names. Argonian name? Sorry, there's a tiny spider on my leg. Okay, I found one that I kind of like. Dan Nur. Sorry, I'm trying to find a name now. Ah, here's a nice one. Nimesh. Nimesh? He needs a title, though. Nimesh the what? Nimesh... Arrow scale? Blade scale? I want to include something like scale, or like... something that has to do with Argonian. Nimesh. Nimesh. The... trying to think. I'm so tired I can't think. Nimesh Shadow Scale. How about that? Nimesh. Nimesh Shadow Scale. That's a
Are you a
good one.
relative of one of the Riften dock workers, Agonian? Captain, what should we do? He's not on the list.
Forget the list. He goes to the block.
By your orders, Captain. I'm sorry. We'll make sure your remains are returned to Black Marsh. Follow the captain, prisoner.
Okay, let's see.
Ulfric Stormcloak. Some here in Helgen call you a hero, but a hero doesn't use a power like the voice to murder his king and usurp his throne.
Let's see.
You started this war, plunged Skyrim into chaos, and now the Empire is going to put you down and restore the peace.
Trying to look up all the enchanted clothing in Skyrim to see if there's any better ones than the ones that I would like.
Carry on.
Yes, General Tullius. Give them their last rites.
As we commend your souls to Aetherius, blessings of the 8 divines upon you.
For the love of Talos, shut up and let's get this over.
Let's see.
As you wish.
Come on! I haven't got all morning. My ancestors are smiling at me, Imperials. Can you say the same?
Okay, so what I need... How can I get the... Okay, there's two things that I want. Well, one's gonna be a supplement until I could get the other. There's the Jester's clothing, like Jester's clothing set. And then there's Cicero's clothing set. So, I know that Cicero's clothing set you mostly get by damn near completing the Dark Brotherhood quest line. But what about the Jester's clothing set? How can I obtain that?
What in oblivion is that?
Sentries. What do you say?
Okay, the Jester's clothing is literally Cicero's clothing, looks slightly different, with slightly crappier enchantments, but is obtained at pretty much the same exact time as Cicero's outfit. So, I'm pretty much gonna have to complete the Dark Brotherhood questline if I want either of those outfits. So what I'm gonna be doing in the meantime is going through most of like this leveling up process I'm gonna be doing, and essentially trying to avoid fights and all that, because doing what I can do is I could get the shrouded Dark Brotherhood outfit just by joining the Dark Brotherhood essentially, and then doing stuff for them while wearing it until I get to that point in the quest line. But anyways, before any of that, I need to power level my character here. What is his name? Nimesh Shadow Scale, I believe. So I'm gonna have to power level this guy.
Looks like we're the only ones who made it. Was that really a dragon?
And
The end time?
so this video is gonna involve a lot of like boring
We should
stuff,
keep moving.
but
Come here.
it's gonna
Let me
be
see
kind
if
of
I can get
necessary.
those bindings off. There you go. Take a look around.
Sweet.
There should be plenty of gear to choose from.
And then my character is named Nimesh Shadow Scale, right? Yeah, Nimesh Shadow Scale. Okay, let's see what we're working with here. We have a low conjuration and a low illusion. Those are pretty easy to level up. God, even the alchemy is 15. I thought that'd be at least 20. Let's see. How do I already have some sneak leveled up? What? God, my archery is low too. What am I supposed to use? Like, none of the weapons are high. What? Literally, the only bonuses the Argonian get is light armor, sneak, lockpicking, pickpocket, a little bit of restoration and alteration, but everything else is 15. God, the Argonian has, like, crap
Going
at
to
the
see if I
beginning.
can find something for these burns.
Okay, well, this is going to take a lot of power
You better
leveling,
get
and
some
this
gear.
this stream is honestly going to be pretty boring. No need for armor, boy. Now, powers, favorite that. What all do I have? Flame, healing, and his skin. Okay, Skyrim. I see you. Okay. What I'm essentially going to be doing now is beating this guy over and over again. And that's why I put this game to Legendary. This is one of the few, if not the only instance, where you could essentially pick on a character forever without them becoming hostile or dying. Because this character is purely essential. He'll never become hostile to you during the tutorial. I mean, as soon as you get out, then he'll turn hostile if you continue to do this stuff, but he's non-hostile in every way, so you could essentially do this until you max out every skill. Well, I mean, not every. There are a lot of stuff that you can't do in the tutorial naturally, unless you were to use something like console commands on PC or mods or something like that. But since I'm on PS4, that isn't really an option for me. Now, what I will be doing is abusing this poor man, like forever, essentially, because I want to be able to power level some of my stuff. And I'm going to be putting everything into magic and health. Okay, let's put some stuff into one-handed. Now, your one-handed skill increases more based off of how much damage you do with a one-handed weapon. Now, I'm putting more stuff into one-handed to increase the output of how much XP I get with this skill. Because as I keep going, it's going to take more and more to level up this skill. So I'm going to keep putting more and more into the one-handed tree to increase its damage. And what I plan to do is, I'm not going to have any actual weapons. I'm going to use purely conjured weapons. I'm going to be using the bound bow and the bound swords. So I'm going to increase one-handed and archery to the max. Now archery is going to take a lot more to do, because of the fact that there aren't too many ways to increase it very quickly and very easily. Now there are some ways, but it takes a decent amount. And the way that I'm going to go about things is going to make it much harder.
See if one of these chests has some armor.
Because I am kind of doing things out of the whack from which I would normally do, and this power leveling system does take a lot. And there isn't too many ways to really power level archery. From what I've noticed, there's like not really anything. But for now, I'm going to be power leveling one-handed.
You better get some gear.
Okay, level up again. This time put it into Magicka. I'm just gonna keep putting this into here. Let's see. And I'm gonna be dual wielding the bound swords whenever I use them, which isn't gonna be too often. Let's see. And the nice thing about bound weapons is they do get affected by whatever weapon they are, like whatever class of weapon they are. So the bound swords are affected by all the sword perks, all the bound bow is affected by all the archery perks. So that is a really nice thing about these weapons.
See if one of these chests has some armor for you.
I'm going to be taking another sword because
see if one of these
I will be doing increased damage as soon as I could get the dual perk.
You better get some gear.
I also know a quick and easy way to max out sneak while in the tutorial. I'm actually going to be using sneak to power level some stuff as well without even necessarily upgrading the other skills beforehand. But it's going to be necessary in order to get out of the tutorial at a high level and be able to do a bunch of stuff right off the bat.
You better get some gear. See if one of these chests has some armor for you. See if one of these chests has some armor for you. See if one of these chests has some armor for you. See if one of these chests has some armor for you.
While I'm doing this, I can actually talk about some cool things that happened to me at work yesterday. Now, at work yesterday, I actually had something kind of fun happen to where I got. So I work in pest control, right? First of all, and sometimes it's rare, but it does happen. We get tips from clients. Now, I actually got tipped twice yesterday while at work, and I will say it was quite unique what I was tipped. The first tip that I got was a shotgun shell. Now, this was interesting because of the fact that, for one, have you ever heard of somebody tipping with a shotgun shell? That's like unheard of. Ammo's so expensive nowadays, it's ridiculous. But I was talking to a client, and I was spraying inside their house because they were having whatever bug problems, right? Now, the crazy thing about this is I was spraying in the dude's room, right? And I noticed he had a gun sleeve, so I was like, oh, you're a gun guy, right? And he was like, yeah, and then he showed me it was a Mossberg 500. I have a Mossberg 500, and we were both talking about how cool shotguns are and everything, and what rounds we use and whatnot, right? And I was talking about, oh, I just mostly use buckshot, right? And he was like, oh, dude, I use this steel case, turkey shot. Or, let's see, so this is a typical 3-inch 12-gauge round, Federal brand, and it's called Speed Shock Steel. apparently, and he gave this to me so I could try it out myself. It's pretty much, or it is like a turkey shot, but it's steel, and he said that it kicks a lot harder than even like typical buckshot. Which I was like, no way, but he gave it to me, so I am definitely gonna be trying it. Now, this was kind of fun because I also have a bunch of other types of ammo, both 12 and 20 gauge, because I have not only that 12 gauge Mossberg 500, but I also recently purchased a 20 gauge over-under double barrel shotgun. Now, this is great because I actually have a ton of different types of ammos for both guns now. So, I actually have a ton of boxes of 20 gauge ammo that are all target rounds. Now, I opened up one of these target rounds just to see what it was like, essentially, right? And it's essentially turkey shot, but it's a lot more pellets and they're smaller. But it's essentially turkey shot. And it's kind of cool, actually, because it is like a legitimate round. It's mostly for targeting, but I mean, it's fun, and they're 2 3/4 inch shells. Oh, and the turkey shot that he gave me, that's like steel rounds. This one's actually a 3-inch shell. Now, I also have some 20 gauge that's copper plated double odd buckshot. Now, from what I've noticed with like my 12 gauge when it comes to copper plated, not only do they put like, you know, regular buckshot in it, but I think they put like smaller like turkey shot in it as well. I mean, that's what it looks like whenever I hit like a target with it. Like there's a bunch of little peppering in there, like if I were to shoot it with turkey shot. Because turkey shot is literally just a ton of little rounds. Now, let's see. Oh, I also have a 12 gauge slug. Well, actually I have several 12 gauge slugs, but... Now, this is, if you've ever used slugs at all, it's, you know, they're kind of fun to an extent. Like, sure, it's fun to shoot every once in a while, but with a slug compared to regular rounds, regular shotgun shells, it's not a bunch of little projectiles like it is with regular shotgun shells. It's one large projectile, and it's fairly large. And my 12 gauge slugs are 2 3/4 inch. So they're a little smaller and a little weaker because of it, but I'd honestly prefer that rather than a full 3-inch because you're gonna get more power with a 3-inch. Then I also have regular Magnum buckshot for 12 gauge and 20 gauge. Buckshot is like, you know, the standard. But I also have 20 gauge slugs. Now, these are cool because I might actually be able to enjoy a 20 gauge slug, unlike a 12 gauge slug. Because 12 gauges are kind of, you know, no joke. Well, 12 gauges are the standard. 12 gauges is like the standard, though they can be a little much at times. 10 gauges if you want to put a hole through, you know, everything. And then 20 gauge and 16 gauge are typically for people who want, you know, a much more calmer shotgun experience. Like, you know, a rifled slug from a 20 gauge is typically much more, you know, enjoyable and controllable rather than compared to a 12 gauge. And I like that because I might actually be able to enjoy these and use them in a practical sense, like especially if I were to go like hunting or something, because I know in some states you actually have to use slugs to deer hunt. So that will be something to keep in mind. Now I also have copper plated 20 gauge as well, which I imagine is pretty much exactly like the 12 gauge in the fact that not only is it buckshot, but it probably has a smaller projectiles. Now, earlier we were talking about turkey shot, which I was considering for home defense, which, I mean, could still be a viable thing for home defense, but honestly, I don't know. I haven't experimented enough, and, well, I mean, I have experimented some, and I kind of say I don't like the idea of using turkey shot for home defense. I don't know. As a personal preference, I don't prefer it. I mean, I'll keep the turkey shot. I'll use it for either target practice, or if I go turkey hunting, or like some sort of bird hunting. That is something that is an option. And I might actually go hunting sometime soon with my fiance's dad. That could be something. Now, so not only have I been testing different types of ammunition, I have also been testing different sizes of ammunition. So you know how I was talking about earlier about how like the 2 3/4 inch and the 3-inch shotgun shells? That's not the only thing here. You can also use much shorter rounds than like the 2 3/4 inch or even the 2.5 inch or 3-inch. Those are the 2 3/4 and the 3-inch are pretty standard. Where if you use anything else that's typically like a more specified shotgun, or you're sacrificing like the practicality and use of like your shotgun normally. So I have gotten stuff that's much more like smaller than the typical shotgun stuff. I have gotten ones that are like this one, that's a 2 1/4 inch. Now you typically wouldn't think, at least I don't think so, you would think that like, I don't know, 3/4 inch compared to a full inch isn't going to be too much of a difference, right? That is where you were quite wrong, sir. It is like, when you compare the two, it is like comparing Goliath and an ant. It is utterly insane how much of a difference it makes. I actually can't believe it. So, yeah. I not only have that 2 1/4 inch, 12 gauge might I add, I also recently got 1 3/4 inch. So it is quite small compared to any other of the rounds that I have. Now, at no point is that a bad thing. But it's just very, very interesting to say the least. Well, actually, it is kind of a bad thing. So, when using much shorter ammunition than what a shotgun is, designed to use, which typically it's inscribed on the barrel somewhere, like it'll say 2 3/4 inch or 3-inch. That means that is what that shotgun is meant for, and what will easily cycle through it. Now, cycling means like if you're using pump action like you would with a Mossberg 500, every time you pump it, you cycle in a new round into the chamber to fire. If like you have more than one loaded in at a time. Now, if you go below the specifications on the shotgun, that means it'll typically cause cycling issues. That is the most common thing to happen, and that's like the only true worry when you go below the specifications. So I think the 2 1/4 inch will have trouble cycling through the shotgun, but I think the 1 3/4 inch won't cycle at all. I think I will have to load this one at a time, just due to the fact that compared to like any of the other rounds that I have, it is such a night and day difference. It is actually stupid. I mean, I don't mind none at all, but it's I mostly wanted the mini shells, the 1 3/4 inch ones, for one, just having fun, for two, maybe even my girlfriend could use them, because if you're getting a 1 3/4 inch shell, you're not getting the full power, just saying. Like, if you're using a 1 3/4 inch shell, you were just not getting the full power of a regular 3-inch shell. There's no way you're getting that much power.
You better get some beer.
So, I wanted something that I can also easily shoot without much trouble at all. Like, much recoil or, you know, just pain behind it. Because shooting a shotgun could borderline be painful for some people. So, I also have just, like, multiple brands of shotgun shell now. Like, I have 0 brand loyalty right now. Just due to the fact that, you know, I'm just kind of experimenting. Poor Hadvar here, he's just getting so much abuse. But he's helping me level up my skill a lot. Now, I have a Gila brand for the mini shell. I have Noble's Fortitalia for the mini buck, which is the 2 1/4 inch. Then I have a bunch of Federal rounds. Then I also have, let's see.
You better get some gear.
Oh, the Federal Premium is the copper plated, and the Federal Premium is also the turkey shot. But I also have some Winchester rounds, which are the target rounds that I mentioned earlier, and like some of the 3-inch and 2 3/4 inch stuff that I have.
See if one of these chests has some armor.
Though, from what I've noticed, Winchester tends to throw in a bunch of miniature projectiles in their rounds as well, not just like the copper-plated Federal ones. Now, I also just recently got a bigger pack of regular buckshot. Let's see, this is double-odd buckshot.
Look around.
This one's Estate brand.
Got to be a sword or two.
Now, from what I've heard, they're also very reliable, very well liked, and they're a much older brand, so they. Their shells look a lot fancier. Though, Federal, from what I've noticed, will sell stuff in like,
see if one of these chests
like
has
packs of, and
look around.
Yeah, and that's about it. Oh, Winchester also sells target loads by like.
See if one of these chests has some armor.
10 or 25, there we go, in that one. Then the mini, which is the Aquila, has 20. The mini buck has, let's see, how many are in here? The mini buck has, I'm just gonna say like 10, I wanna say.
See if one of these
now,
chests has some armor for you.
The Estate brand that has a little bit more bulk and is the more like older brand
one of these chests has some armor.
Has 25 in it, which is nice compared to, you know, Federal's kind of like lackluster amount of shells per package. Now, I will also say that it's full price, like you are getting charged pretty heavily when it comes to Federal. Hold on, my girl's texting me.
You better get some gear. You better get some gear.
Sorry, I was texting my girl. Okay. But, yeah. I'm gonna test out the Estate brand buckshot versus, you know, the Federal, which is what I've been normally using. That's Federal and Winchester. Though I would say Federal's probably a little bit better than Winchester. I don't know, I kind of like it a little bit better. I don't know. But I think that's purely a preference, and you should obviously make your own decisions. You don't have to get a gun if you don't want one. But I personally like guns for safety reasons. The world is a scary, scary place with a lot of horrible things happening. And I want to, you know, be able to defend myself and my future wife soon. So, I want to protect myself and my wife. And that's why my birthday, by the way, is in a month. It's early next month. I will be getting a concealed carry permit because I just do not trust humanity anymore. I went on that huge gun tangent, by the way, when I realized I forgot to tell everyone the other really cool, like, tip that I got the other day. Along with that shotgun shell that I got. I also got a crap ton of plums. Like, so one of my last jobs, yesterday, was in the middle of nowhere. Literally in the middle of nowhere. There's like 5 houses total, like in the whole area that I was in. And lo and behold, the second to last house that I do is this little old lady on a massive farm. Did stuff for her. It took like an hour to even do everything for her, but she was super nice. She pointed me out to the stuff that she needed done, and she was super appreciative of it all. It was actually pleasant to work for her and everything. And by the end of it, she was like, "Man, my plum tree has produced so many plums this year that the branches are literally snapping due to the fact of how many plums that it's producing." I was like, "Man, that sounds good." And she was like, "Yeah, it's actually awesome. And I've been making like plum jelly and dried plums and everything for weeks now because of it, so I don't want it to go to waste." I was like, "Man, that sounds really good." And she was like, "Do you want some?" I was like, "Sure." And then, so here I am cleaning up, you know, just because I just finished and she was getting the plums ready and all that. And this sweet little old lady, who I'm pretty sure lived by herself with like her 6 dogs, might I add, and all of her farm animals, of course, and everything, came out with a giant grocery bag filled to the brim with plums, a little baggie of dried plums on top of it, and a jar of plum jam or jelly that she made from scratch. I was like, dang, lady. Like, it was amazing. That was, like, awesome. Like, that night, I got home super late because not only was I out late, doing her house and then one of her neighbors' houses, because they were the last 2 stops for my night. What do you know? I get home late, like 9:30, and literally, I just ate a bunch of plums for dinner because I was so tired. I really didn't feel like making dinner, and I just had this huge sack of plums, and I'm like, I gotta start eating it now, or else it's all gonna go waste. And so I just ate like 5 plums before dinner. I ate 5 plums for dinner and went to bed. So yeah, yesterday was pretty interesting when it came to what I got for like tips from work. That was quite interesting.
You better get some gear. See if one of these chests has some armor for you.
I know this is really boring, but I'm trying to liven this up with stories. And I thought honestly we would have been farther into the skill tree by now. So I'm kind of running low on stories. Mainly because I'm really tired and I can't even think of really any. Oh, here's one. Who wants to hear the story of how I got engaged? Me. Okay, so let's say like about 2 weeks ago now, I took vacation from work with my girlfriend and my parents, well, now my fiance, she was my girlfriend.
Better get some gear.
We went to the Oregon coast. We actually went to a place called Pacific City. And, we went there for about a week. And it was a great time. We rented a beach house and everything. Sorry, I'm really tired. We rented a beach house. We went to the beach almost every day. Went to shops, all this good stuff. We did all the touristy stuff. But I'd actually brought my ring that I got for my girl like months beforehand. You know, for the sake of proposing to her. And I was like, this has got to be the best time to propose. So, yeah. I ended up waiting until the last day of our vacation. I ended up smuggling the ring into my pocket. So, my little brother, who's literally like 1.5, still a little baby, we had his diaper bag. My parents helped me by putting the ring in the diaper bag so my girlfriend wouldn't notice. We went to the beach. I ended up telling them the plan. Well, they knew about the plan a little bit, but we ended up having to improvise it like 40 times while we were on the trip just because little things kept changing. But, so, we ended up having to smuggle the freaking ring from the diaper bag into my pocket, like almost in front of my girlfriend without her noticing. Ended up being able to do that without her noticing whatsoever, somehow, amazingly. Then I suggested to my girlfriend that we go on a walk together down the beach, you know, to be all romantical and everything. Ended up walking down to the end of the beach, looking at the rocks, all the seashells, all that good stuff. Then I told her that we needed to go back. And beforehand, I told my dad to write "turn around" in the sand. Before we even left to go on the walk. So that had been waiting for us. And we came back. I pointed out the message in the sand. She went over to read it. Then I quickly got down on one knee to propose to her while she was reading it. She turned around and I proposed. And of course she said yes, since we're engaged now. And we're planning a wedding around September 3rd, I believe we agreed on. So yeah, I'm engaged, and it's awesome. And I'm still building that house for us. So we're having a great freaking time. And I couldn't really be happier. Though I am so tired from work today. I ended up doing 14 jobs today for repeating clients. And for some reason it was nothing but spiders and ants today. And a lot of really bad spiders today. Like, for some reason a lot of clients had it to where there was a bunch of spiders. A lot of spiders in like the rock beds surrounding clients' houses. And a lot of them had like little stone walls as like their back fence essentially. It was nicer neighborhoods. So for some reason they had really bad spider infestations along those stone walls and all that.
See if one of these chests has some armor for you.
And in the rock bed. So I ended up having to like remove the webs from each of those places. Thankfully we don't do it by hand, we use a brush pull to do it. That would suck. So I ended up having to remove a ton of spider webs today. But thankfully it wasn't all bad. So. But yeah, that was like a huge bulk of my day as well. Just de-webbing rock beds and stone walls for some reason. I guess it isn't all bad. But I don't know. I just kept getting bombarded with a lot of stuff to do. But,
One of these chests has some armor for you.
yeah. Also had to deal with a lot of rodent bait stations today. But thankfully, what I use for bait is what's called contract. And it's like a little, like, teal little block, essentially, that we put on little poles in these giant, big, black bait boxes. I barely had enough to get through the day. That sweet little old lady on her farm, because she's in the middle of nowhere, of course she's gonna have mice. That's just how it is. If you're in the middle of nowhere, you're gonna get field mice. She ended up taking damn near every poison bait that I had, all the contract that I had. Like, almost all of it. Like, today I had less than 2 dozen to work with. And, bait stations typically take 2 contract per bait station. If, like, you know, it's if the bait's eaten up by mice, or if it's... They can actually sun rot. Our bait can actually, bake in the sun and become essentially like a putty, almost. Because they get so heated, it turns them into a goo, almost. And when that happens, of course, we have to replace it. Because by then, it's so hot that, and gross and whatever, even mice won't eat it. Well, they might, but we still replace it. Doesn't matter. So I barely had enough to get through today, because, like, I'd say a good half or so of my clients, maybe more like a third, had bait stations that, of course, need to be replaced, because even though it's nicer neighborhoods, they also had fields nearby. It was like newly constructed as well, so it was still like pretty much everything outside the neighborhood was open fields and whatnot. It was a newly developed, like, rich people neighborhood, essentially. So I guess that also kind of explains the spider issues. I need to take a break from this and get some water. I'm so thirsty.
See if one of these chests has some armor for you.
Ah, that's better. Okay. So yeah, I ended up having to deal with that a lot as well. So, yeah. I had a pretty busy day today, and I had a super busy day yesterday, though yesterday was awesome due to the fact that I got a free shell that I've never tried before, which is cool, and a bunch of plums, and plum products. I actually ate all the dried plums today for my lunch. Thankfully, I really like plums. So that ended up working out just fine. But, yeah, that was, pretty awesome. This is taking so long. Thank God I'm not gonna max out two-handed. Though, maxing out sneak will actually be way easier while, doing this. Maxing out sneak is actually, I'd say, considerably quicker than maxing out one or two-handed with this guy. Though, maxing out archery is going to take quite a bit, when it comes to, the game, I guess. I don't know. I'm tired. It's kind of hard for me to think right now. I'm trying to focus on mashing buttons, managing my stamina so I can fit in power attacks as soon as it's filled, making sure Hadvar doesn't go too low, but keeping track of Hadvar's health, because I could reset him, essentially, but you kind of need to hit him just right when he goes down, and then he'll essentially come right back up. Like that. But if you do it incorrectly, you gotta wait for him to regain health again. So it's kind of annoying. You gotta, like, time it just right, essentially. But I think this is gonna be one of my most anticipated type of playstyles that I've tried yet.
Look around.
Because the nice thing about this is, I'm actually going to be carrying very little.
You better get some gear.
I'm going to need very few soul gems. Let's see. My weapons are going to be weightless because they're conjured weapons. Let's see.
Got to be a sword or two in one of these chests. Look around.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to be doing
If one of these chests
any maxing out of smithing. I mean, I'll do smithing mostly for jewelry, but I won't be maxing out smithing in any capacity. Let's see, if I get that to 60, that's good. 70 for that.
Got to be a sword or two.
Okay.
Look around.
Let's see. Yeah, I won't be using any smithing. I will be maxing enchanting just so I could, like, enchant rings and whatnot. And, increase the damage on those. Like, I will be needing, bow damage a little bit, especially when I get even more later in game. Though, thankfully, with the fact that I will be, using, stealth, I shouldn't be needing, archery damage increase necklaces and whatnot too much. And luckily that I'm maxing out two-handed, I won't be
One of these chests has some armor for you.
not two-handed, one-handed. I won't be screwed when it comes to combat either, because I'm going to be dual-wielding bound swords as well. That's why I'm dumping everything to health and magic for now. So what I need to do, this is what I was talking about earlier. Okay, hit him again.
Look around.
Because as
You better get some gear.
soon as I get out of here, I'm gonna need to max out my conjuration,
You better get some gear.
put some points in the correct conjuration perks. Because when I could do that,
See if one of these chests has some
it
armor.
will make it to where I could summon my bound weapons at ease, with very little magicka cost,
You better get some gear.
and hopefully I'll be able to... So, this is what I'm gonna need. Let's see, let's go to the conjuration tree. Conjuration. So what I'm gonna need is Mystic Binding, so that bound weapons do more damage. It's gonna be a huge one. Then I think Conjuration Dual Casting will really help for my bound weapons as well, to allow me to use them longer. That's a huge one. I want that. So those are the two that I really need. Along with, I believe, I might need all the way to Expert Conjuration. That will make it to where I could summon my bound weapons for like half magic. Which will be very nice because I'll need to be able to summon them at ease. If I can't, then I'm essentially unarmed. Which, obviously, I can't let happen. That's the only thing that I'm worried about with this run, is, like, if I get into combat, I'm gonna have to rely on my bound swords, and if it's somebody using, like, any sort of electrical magic, then I'm gonna be kind of screwed when it comes to that. And I'm also gonna need some illusion as well. I'm gonna want, what I'm really gonna want is quiet casting. That's the only thing I need from illusion. That way I could summon my bound weapons, especially my bound bow, without being heard, because I'm gonna be a stealth archer with a bound bow. I'm gonna need that to not be heard every time I summon my weapon. Then I'm going to use alchemy to increase random stats, and I'll also use it for increasing my enchanting capabilities, and probably poisons as well, since there's much more of a cap when it comes to bound weapon damage. So I'll be using potions to increase those damages and to put poisons on them. Because bound weapons can't be enchanted or smithed due to the fact that they're magic. They're weightless magical items. And they're essentially ghosts that you're summoning as a weapon. But you can put poisons on them, and you can drink potions to increase the damage outputs. So that's something as well. I'm also going to be using Sneak. That's the plan here. So I need to max out Alchemy, I need to max out Enchanting, I need to max out One-Handed, I need to max out Archery, I need like 15 Illusion, and then I need to max out Conjuration as well. That way I can just summon these with no problem.
See if one of these chests has some armor for you.
It's nice because this guy won't even move from this spot until I open this chest here. Don't know, actually, right now, I'm going to quick save in case my game decides to crash. Because I've made like almost an hour and a half of progress just by hitting this guy, and I can't afford to lose that. I've already over half in my freaking one-handed skill tree. I'm not gonna lose that. I'm sorry that this has been really boring footage, but I just, like I titled this is gonna be mostly prep. And kind of like showing exploits as well. We're almost to 60.
You better get some gear. See if one of these chests has some armor for you.
Okay. Let's see.
See if one of these chests has some armor for you. See if one of these chests has some armor for you. You better get some gear. You better get some gear.
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but swords will never hurt me, said Hadvar. Because he's essential. Hadvar and Rayloff are actually essential for many exploits. And you know what's the funny part? I'm not going with the Imperials either in this run. I am going to be going with the Stormcloaks, because I kind of prefer them, to be honest. I just use Hadvar at the beginning. For one, he's an easier punching bag in my opinion. For two, his like uncle or whatever is the blacksmith in Riverwood, and you get access to better items from the start. Though those items are going to become very obsolete very quickly. I just mostly need the money. It's going to involve another exploit that I do later on. It's funny, I'm going to be leaving the tutorial area at a fairly high level as well. It's also not funny because it's going to be terrifying.
You better get some gear.
Yeah, I'm gonna be pretty screwed for a portion of the game, because I'm gonna be going through the game with very terrible items while I set up this character, with very high level enemies.
You better get some gear.
Yeah, so that means like pretty much every enemy is going to be more stronger than me when it comes to, you know, damage output, until I can get my bound weapons. And until then, I'm going to be kind of screwed. But there is a... that's why I'm doing this stuff, to compensate for that fact.
One of these chests. Look around. Got to be a sword or two in one of these chests. Look around.
So, I'm going to be using a set of exploits here for the archery as well, but I can't do it in tutorial area, actually.
Got to be a sword or two in one of these chests.
I could do it very quickly after the tutorial area, but I can't realistically do much to my archery skill in the tutorial area itself. There's just not enough opportunity here.
See if one of these chests has some armor for you.
What I could realistically do is like
See if
1
one
or
of these
2
chests has
points
some armor.
in the tutorial area, but that's realistically it.
See if one of these chests has some armor for you.
Now with 1 or 2-handed, I could keep going forever and ever, essentially.
You better get some gear.
Now, obviously, I'm not going to make my 1 or 2-handed legendary, or, yeah, I'm not going to make it legendary in the tutorial. For 1, there's no point. For 2, I don't want to start over with this process all over again. This is utterly unbearable. It's unbearable for me, too. I don't want to freaking keep doing this forever. Matter of fact, I need to text my girl again.
Sword or two in one of these chests. Look around. Got to be a sword or two in one of these chests. Look around. You better get some gear. Got to be a sword or two in one of these chests. Look around.
Okay, I'm back. But,
See if one of these chests.
I have a setup for expanding archery after I leave the tutorial. So first thing I'm going to do is go to Riverwood and do an unmarked quest for between Sven and Feindal. Sven and Feindal are 2 random losers that live in Riverwood, and they're both competing for the love of Camilla something. Now, what you want to do as soon as you get to Riverwood is you do that unmarked quest and you side with Feindal. This is very important. And then you give the fake letter that Feindal gives you to give to Camilla. You give it to her. Don't tell her that it's from Feindal. Tell her it's from Sven, because that's what Feindal wants. Please, Feindal, essentially. You do that, and then that will give the option for Feindal to become a follower. After you tell him what you did for him, you want him to be your follower, because he has a nice little thing where he can also train you in archery, up to level 50 actually. Now he can't get you to full, but he can get you very close, well, halfway, with his little training abilities, which is very good. We want to be able to get to max archery as soon as possible. Now, we can't, there are certain things that are limiting the fact of us going straight to 50. For one, we're going to be high level, so it's going to take a lot for us to even continue to get skill points. Now, we could surpass that by doing stuff like maxing out enchanting. Like, we're gonna be doing that anyways, and we're gonna be using the Dawnstar chest loot to do that. And so we'll keep getting skills from Feindal, and then every time that we can't learn anymore from him, like it's saying level up to continue learning, we'll just go over, get some more stuff, keep maxing out our enchanting, save up the skill points, you know, do whatever. Now, then we'll go back to Feindal, learn some more, and we'll repeat that process many times if we need to until we get to level 50. Now, as soon as we get to level 50, it doesn't matter. We can kill Feindal, we can do whatever. But it's also nice because once you have Feindal as a companion and you learn archery from him, like you take lessons from him essentially, you can just ask for the money back since he's your companion. He'll just give you the money. There's no need to try and pickpocket it off of him or kill him for the money. Since he's your companion, he will essentially give you the money that you paid for to learn greater archery. Now, going to Dawnstar will also allow us to obtain more money, soul gems, learn alchemy perks, all that good stuff. So, we'll continue to be doing that. Let's see, what else? So once we learn max archery, we can kill Feindal or whatever. Ditch him, doesn't matter. Then we're gonna be going for all the archery skill books. That way we can... I think, on average, there's about like 15 or so unique books that increase each skill. So we could get that to like 65 right there. Which is pretty good. Then, let's see. Oh yeah, I know what else we could do. We could go through the companion quest line. Because, let's see. Once you become the leader of the companions, any member of the companions could become a follower. Now this is very important because, I can't remember what her first name is. The Huntress, the main chick that you have to worry about throughout the companion's questline. She trains archery. So you could do the same trick with Feindal with her. So you could essentially learn even more archery because she even goes higher level. Actually, we could do the companion trick with her. We could learn the companion archery trick with her before we get the skill books, and that could... I believe she's at least expert, so I think she could get us to around level 70 or so when it comes to archery, like 75 probably. Then we get the skill books, that'll get us to like 90 or something. Then there's a chick in the mountains outside of Falkreath who will get your archery up like, I don't know, 5 or so levels for free. Now you have to do a bunch of annoying target practice with her, but you could do it for free for like 5 or so levels. From then on, we can just play the game normally with archery, and that should more than supplement it. And of course, while we're doing this, we'll do other things too. But we also need to severely get a... We need to get the tomes, the spells of the bound sword, and the bound bow. Now, I know where we could get it for free, but it's guarded by vampires, essentially, so we're gonna have to sneak in there. That's why we're gonna max out our sneak as well. Hold on, my girl's texting me again.
See if one of these chests has some armor for you. See if one of these chests has some armor for you. You better get some gear. See if one of these chests has some armor for you.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry. But, yeah, we'll do that. Because I imagine that, oh wait, Aella is the chick with the companions. I imagine she could get our archery really high. So, we'll just see what we could do with her. And the nice thing about bound weapons is they do as much as a Daedric weapon, and they scale with whatever like weapon they're classed as. So like the swords go with one hand, and the bow goes with archery. And then there's also the Mystic Binding perk. So yeah, there's actually a lot that could go into it.
See if one of these chests has some armor for you.
And I just thought going an Argonian would be fun.
Got to
I'm
be a
kind of
sword or
regretting
two
it
in
now
one of
because
these
they
chests.
start with
Look
such
around.
low stats and everything. Like, they go in such low stats of everything that I
Got to
want.
be a sword or two in one of these chests. Look
They have
around.
low one-handed, low alchemy, low enchanting, low archery.
A sword or two
The
in
only
one of
thing
these
that
chests.
I'm
Look
gonna
around.
get a slight boost to from the start is stealth. Even then, that wouldn't matter because that was the easier one to upgrade.
See if one of these chests has some armor for you.
Maybe I should have just gone the Nord.
You better get some gear.
At least then he would have gotten more boosted combat skills, like
You
one-handed.
better get some gear.
So I wouldn't have to start from such a low standing point.
You better get some gear.
I don't know. But I also
Some gear.
don't really care for, like, the Nord class.
See if one of these chests has some armor for you.
This is taking so
See
long.
if one of these chests has some armor.
Come on, stand back up.
See if one of these chests has some armor. Got to be a sword or two in one of these chests. Look around. See if one of these chests has some armor for you. See if one of these chests has some armor for you. See if one of these chests has some armor for you. See if one of these
Sorry,
chests
my
has
girl's
some
texting
armor
me about stuff. So we actually have
Got
a
to
few
be a
things
sword or two
lined
in one of
out.
these chests. Look around.
This is taking so long.
Got to be a sword or two in one of these chests. Look around. Got to be a sword or two in one of these chests. Look around. You better get some gear. You better get some gear. You better get some gear. See if one of these chests has some armor for you. You better get some gear. You better get some gear.
Come on, stand up.
You better get some gear. Got to be a sword or two in one of these chests. Look around. You better get them. See if one of these chests has some armor for you.
If I had access to the standing stones right now, this would have been so much faster.
You better get some gear.
Though sadly, I'm gonna be not really using the warrior standing stone, which I
See if
believe
one of these
increases
chests has some
archery.
armor for you. See if one of these chests has some armor for you.
Okay, cool, we leveled up again. That requires 70. Gosh dang it.
Got to be a sword or two in one of these
Okay.
chests. Look around. Got to be a sword or two in one of these chests. Look around.
I'm seeing what the warrior stone even improves. What improves archery?
See if one of
That's
these
what I
chests
need to
has
look
some
at
armor.
right here.
to be a sword or two in one of these chests. Look around.
Oh.
You better get some gear.
Okay, archery is under the stealth skill, so the thief stone. Oh, okay, that's good to know.
Got to be a sword or two.
So archery is actually under the thief stone, not the warrior stone. So it doesn't matter. I actually won't be using the warrior stone at all this playthrough. That's good to know.
See if one of these chests has some armor for you. You better get some gear. Got to be a sword or two in one of these chests. Look around. You better get some gear. You better get some gear.
And just to let you know, I will be playing on novice for this game. I really don't care for hard difficulty on this game. It just turns everything into a damage sponge and nothing else.
Got to be a sword or two in one of these chests. Look around. You better get some gear. You better get some gear. See if one of these chests has some armor for you. See if one of these chests has some armor for you. See if one of these chests has some armor for you. See if one of these chests has some armor for you.
Okay, so the bound bow takes 206 magicka to cast, and it is an adept level spell. Let's see, so conjuration, apprentice, adept. Okay, what about the bound sword? Is there a bound dagger? There's a bound dagger? I thought there was only a bound sword. What? Oh, I think it's a Dragonborn DLC item. Not a regular item. Okay. And that's a novice at 32 magicka. What? One base damage? What? Sorry. I'm looking stuff up at the same time. Let's see.
See if one of these chests has some armor for you. sword or two in one of these. You better get some gear. See if one of these chests has some armor for you. You better get some gear. Got to be a sword or two in one of these chests. Look around. You better get some gear. You better get some gear.
So it sounds like the bound dagger actually sucks a lot for one. For two, it's pretty
See
buggy.
if one of these chests has some armor.
Like, even for like Skyrim standards. So
Got to be a sword
yeah,
or
like
two in one of these
the
chests.
bound dagger actually sounds. It is even quiet, even with the quiet casting perk. Like each swing for some reason alerts enemies.
You better get some gear. 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 Got to be a sword or two in one of these chests. Look around. Got to be a sword or two in one of these chests. Look around.
So yeah, the dagger's not worth it due to the fact that there's a bug with it that makes it to where it's not quiet
Better get some gear.
whether you miss or hit while in stealth.
See if
So
one
I
of these
will
chests
not
has
be
some
getting
armor.
the bound dagger or the dagger silence perk.
Got to be a sword or two in one of these chests. Look around. You better get some gear.
Okay, the best bet is on a table in front of the bandit chief inside a room with an arcane enchanter on Treva's watch upper floor. Okay, so I know where to find the bound sword,
Look around.
which is what I'm going to be using because the bound dagger is incredibly bugged.
Better get some gear.
It's actually worse on PC. For some reason, like, dual casting with the bound dagger sometimes just makes PCs just crash instantly.
See if one of these chests has some armor for you. See if one of these chests has some armor for you.
What about the bound bow? Is there anything I should know about in particular when it comes to that?
You better get some gear. You better get some gear. See if one of these chests has some armor for you. See if one of these chests has some armor. Got to be a sword or two in one of these chests. Look around.
Okay, and I could find the bow in Fort Amal Prison.
Got to be a sword or
Let's
two
see.
in one of these
It does
chests.
24
Look
base
around.
damage without any archery perks. Or the Mystic Binding at 18. Increases
one
to
of these
24 with
chests
Mystic
has some
Binding. Bound arrows have a damage rating of 24. So essentially just 48 with Mystic Binding and no other archery perks, which is not that good, but it's something.
See if one of these chests
Let's
has some
see.
armor.
Let's see.
Got to be a sword or two in one of these chests. Look around.
Let's see. You can use poisons on the
See if one of
weapon.
these chests has some armor for you.
Let's see.
better get some gear.
Let's see.
Got to be a sword or two in one of these chests. Look around. Got to be a sword or two in one of these chests. Look around. You better get some gear. Got to be a sword or two in one of these chests. Look around. You better get some gear. Got to be a sword or two in one of these chests. Look around. See if one of these chests has some armor for you.
Oh, for some reason, the
See if one
bound
of these
bow
chests has some
can be
armor.
used while riding a dragon, unlike any other bow for some reason.
See if one of these chests has some armor for you.
Weighs nothing.
Got to be a sword or two in one of these chests. Look around. You better get some gear. You better get some gear.
Oh, for some reason,
Sword or two in one of these
let's see.
chests. Look around.
With patch 1.9, the bound bow with mystic binding garners more XP per hit than any other bow in the game.
You better get some gear. You better get some gear. Got to be a sword or two in one of these chests. Look around. You better get some gear. See if one of these chests has some armor for you. See if one of these chests has some armor for you.
Okay, so there's a lot of advantages of taking the bound bow. Let's see, what is the bound sword? I forgot. What? Let's see.
Got to be a sword or two in one of these chests. Look around.
Oh, it's a novice skill.
Got to be a.
So let's see. Novice print wasn't the bow adept? Okay, so the bound sword is novice and takes how much magicka? Okay, let's just see how much the bow is. So the bow takes 206 magicka, and we're already at 150. And then if we take the adept conjuration for the bow, that will make it to where it does half of 206, so that's 104. That's not bad. 104 magicka for a Daedric bow. That's arguably better than a lot of bows in the game.
Sword or two in one of these chests. Look around.
I think that's a pretty good trade-off.
See if one of these chests has some armor for you.
How's my one-handed now? I wasn't. Oh, cool! I'm already at 71. Nice. So if I get to 80, I could fully upgrade Armsman. Okay, so I can get dual savagery now. I need 90 for more bladesmen. There's critical charge there, and then backwards power attack has a 25% chance to paralyze the target. Sweet, free paralysis. That's nice. Free paralysis strikes. Okay, that's not bad.
You better get some gear.
So that could actually be really good
You better get some
in combination with the bound swords.
Got to be a sword or two in one of these chests. Look around. Got to be a sword or two in one of these chests. Look around. Got to be a sword or two in one of these chests. Look around.
Poor Hadvar's has been being beaten on for like an hour and a half now. This is still the best way to level up one or two-handed, ladies and gentlemen.
Look around.
And the quickest. Oh, thank God. Okay. I actually want to continue to do more damage, because every time I do more damage, it helps increase
Better get some gear.
how quickly this levels up.
Got to be a sword or two. You better get some gear.
So if I can increase more damage, even if it's just on power attacks, that'll really help. Then it's useful for combat anyways.
You better get some gear. Got to be a sword or two in one of these chests. Look around. You better get some gear. Got to be a sword or two in one of these chests. Look around. Got to be a sword or two in one of these chests. Look around. You better get some gear.
Riveting gameplay, my guys. Sorry this is so boring, I thought this would have been done by now. And we still haven't even gotten to maxing out Sneak yet!
Gear. Got to be a sword
I
or
swear
two
the
in
other
one of
stuff
these
will be
chests.
much
Look
more
around.
interesting, just due to the fact that it'll actually be something other than just whacking a guy
See if one of these
500
chests has some
million times.
You better get some gear.
We're not even level 80 yet. We still need 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 perks, and we need to go up like 28 more levels.
You better get some gear. You better get some gear. See if one of these chests has some armor for you.
You know what? I have nothing else to say here,
Got to be
so
a sword or two
I'm
in
gonna
one
do
of
the
these
rest of
chests.
this
Look around.
off the stream because I'm getting bored. So I'm gonna
Got to be
save
a
you guys
sword
from
or
this
two in
boredom.
one of these chests. Look around.
Leave a like, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe and share, and I'll continue
if
the
one of
stream
these
when I'm
chests
at the
has some armor.
very least done with the one-handed maxing. I'm sorry, this has
You
been a
better get
horrible
some gear.
stream, but like I said with the title, it's mostly prepping, and after this is
Got to be a
done,
sword
it
or
will be
two in one of
much,
these
much
chests.
more interesting.
Look around.
Okay, and if you guys leave a like on this video, I will, no joke, no
See if one
scam
of these
whatsoever,
chests has some armor.
give you back the time in like a little bubble, one that
See
you
if
could
one of
never
these
like
chests has some
actually
armor.
do anything besides look at. I will give you this time bubble for all the time that I've wasted
Got to be a
from your
sword or
guys'
two in one of
lives.
these chests. Look around.